And I hesitate to bring this up. Tony Buzbee, washcloth attorney, Tony Buzbee. He represented all the massage professionals who were suing Deshaun Watson. Tony Buzbee is a lot of things, including one of the best attorneys in the country. And he is representing an OnlyFans performer who is accusing Shannon Sharpe of some really ugly, nasty sexual assault allegations. Is this in criminal court? No. These are allegations of a civil nature where, according to TMZ, through Shannon Sharpe's attorney, Shannon Sharpe has offered at least a $10 million payday to settle this before it went public. And allegedly, Tony Buzbee and his client said no. So it is a cash grab. Well, I don't think there's any doubt it's a cash grab. But the question is, and this is an adult conversation, I'm telling you that now. Do you believe Shannon Sharpe? Because I'm going to play his statement first, and then I'm going to play you a recorded call that Tony Buzbee released that is allegedly between Shannon Sharpe and the accuser. And I say allegedly because according to Shannon Sharpe's camp, that call is heavily edited. First, let me play Shannon Sharpe, who on the set of his podcast recorded this unequivocal statement of denial. It is spectacular. We are airing it unedited. So make sure you're ready, because I'm going to play it in 3, 2, 1.
This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Buzbee want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Wow. Shannon Sharpe denying allegations that were made in a civil lawsuit by an OnlyFans performer. And I'm going to stop right there because you're pretty upset that I said OnlyFans performer and Shannon Sharpe in the same sentence.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think one of the first, just you step back a little bit, as we always do when these situations come up. My first question to Shannon Sharpe, Deshaun, Trevor Bauer, hey, dude, listen, I'm not going to judge your character right now. I'm not going to make any type of statement about whether you're a bad guy or a good guy. I'm not going to do that with this conversation. But my very simple question to athletes at this level, or in Shannon's case, former athletes at his level, is why associate with this crowd? Meaning, you're 51, I believe he is.
Yeah, it says in his mid-50s. She is 20 years old.
So
when these incidents happen.
So again, why is it? And I think it's really important to take Shannon at his word there in that video we just played. You notice he was very intentional about saying at her request Okay, so if we go with that story, because we don't frankly know, nobody knows what the whole story is here. That's the fact. Nobody, the public does not know the full story. So if we take Shannon at his word and this hypothetical alleged scenario goes down where this OnlyFans creator, and Shannon somehow connects, they get together and
They met at a gym.
Shannon agrees to do stuff with her, a video or whatever the agreement was. Why would you associate with that? Why put yourself in a position to be, to be taken advantage of on some level, to be leveraged, I guess would be the proper way to say
that's
it.
the way to say it. I mean, you're a
Yeah.
multi-millionaire who's about to sign $100 million broadcast deal for a podcast. And you met this woman in 2023, according to TMZ, at a gym when she was 20 and he was in his mid-50s. She stated in court documents during the first encounter, Sharpe told her he would buy her fake enhancements if she won a weight loss competition. She wrote in the suit that Sharpe proceeded to pursue her relentlessly, calling, texting, quote, demanding she come to his Beverly Glen mansion. The woman stated she and Sharpe ultimately got into a consensual relationship, though she described it as controlling and verbally abusive. Quote, he demanded complete control over her time and body, Tony Buzbee wrote in Jane Doe's suit, expecting her to be at his house on his schedule at his command whenever he called. The woman claims that there was one argument in particular that terrified her when he yelled at her while a firearm was visible in the room. Okay, so let's recap what I take away from that.
Mm-hmm.
You had a fight. She alleges there was a gun in plain sight and she was feared for her life. You're basically saying that you thought there was a possibility he was so mad he was going to pick up the gun and shoot you. Those are my interpretations of that paragraph.
And I would agree with that interpretation.
Doe claims there was one argument in particular that terrified her. Okay, you're terrified. He yelled at her while a firearm was visible in the room. Plaintiff tried sharing her location with friends from her iPhone just in case, the suit says. Quote, Sharpe saw her doing this. The moment he realized what she was doing, he grabbed her by the neck and told her, quote, if you ever do that again, I will effing kill you. And Sharpe denies a lot of this. But then Tony Buzbee released an audio recording of a phone call where Shannon Sharpe is alleged to choke this woman. And I'll let the call speak for itself. But again, I'm warning you, it is some strong language. So here it comes in 3, 2, and 1.
You're just gonna get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Well, thank you, TMZ, for the clip there. What's the problem with that, Jake? Well, there's allegedly evidence of her wearing a collar during a consensual sexual episode where she's being choked while they're having sex.
Allegedly, yes, to your point. And there's also in the TMZ dive into this story, and we're not showing these intentionally, but there are, again, more Buzbee released, text messages that are allegedly between the creator and Shannon.
Oh, and it's gnarly.
And it's really, really
the things
heinous.
that this woman in those text messages, the things that this woman and Shannon Sharpe talked about are some of the most graphic texts I have ever seen between two adults. And you can go and find them.
Yeah. So, the hard part for me with these situations is, they're just really tricky. it's, if you hearken back to, Trevor Bauer's situation, Trevor Bauer is guilty of nothing more than people just think he's weird at this point. Like, there was nothing that he did that was illegal, that bore out in court. Like, the girl got laughed out of court in that situation. Like, so like, I think of that situation. The Deshaun thing is the Deshaun thing. We'll never really quite know exactly what happened because there was so much buying out and paying off and silencing happening. So I don't know what really, I think we have a good idea, but we don't really know. And then in this situation, I have no idea, dude. Honestly, I have no idea. I tend to lean towards this does kind of feel like a cash grab because, allegedly there was that $10 million offer. They said no. And now we're in this place where, we're playing this whole game where it's like Buzbee's releasing alleged phone calls that are Shannon Sharpe and the girl. And I have to say, just as someone who messes around with video and audio, that does feel pretty choppy to me. That doesn't feel like a conversation that's, how like when you listen to a conversation and there's flow to it and there's like it sounds like to me audibly, hey, we're recording the call from her side of the phone on an external device.
Yeah.
And then Shannon's like in a car or something. And then we're just going to kind of put that together, which quite frankly, just being transparent is not hard to do.
And I think it's really important. He says this is a heavily edited tape.
Yeah.
And that there is far more to that conversation. Shannon, you're responsible for this.
Yeah.
Trevor Bauer, you're responsible for what happened to you. You're making choices. And this is the part where I say to you as a parent, you need to talk to your sons and daughters about this. If you are Shannon Sharpe and you are 100 millionaire, then it's what we always joke about. You just put your 25-year roof in jeopardy, man.
Yeah. Like,
you made a choice to be intimate, to text things, to say heinous things, because nobody is alleging that Shannon Sharpe didn't say those things in that conversation. Notice he's never said, well, that's not my voice. This is AI or this is fake. He's not said that. What he said is that's not the entirety of the tape. It's heavily edited. Right? He said those things to that woman. Number one, Shannon, that's on you. Number two, and I am not trying to stereotype all OnlyFans performers, but Shannon, she's an OnlyFans performer. You met her at a gym. Where's the love story that goes on forever where you met the love of your life who was an OnlyFans performer at the gym? You're a celebrity. Are you? And if I'm being insensitive, I in no way mean to be this way, but I'm stating fact. You're a celebrity who is 100 millionaire, apparently. You're meeting and picking up women at the gym?
Well, apparently she's a celebrity now, too. Apparently.
And she's only a celebrity because of this now.
Mm-hmm.
But you're meeting women at the gym? You're hooking up with OnlyFans performers? You're allowing them to ask you. There are text messages out there where this woman says to Shannon Sharpe over text, allegedly, I want you to put a dog collar on me and choke me while we have sex. Shannon, the answer's no. The answer's no. Because I'll continue to say what I have said every single time. Trevor Bauer, Shannon Sharpe, the Kennedys, Bill Clinton, you name the powerful guy. If you are going to have relations, physical, sexual relations, with somebody who has everything to gain and nothing to lose, you're the loser. You're the loser. Shannon Sharpe, Trevor Bauer, you're the loser. Because the San Diego Padre fan, Mike Clevenger's former love toy, who you then had sex with, Trevor Bauer, and you did all those things allegedly to, that you haven't really denied. Did you lose or did she lose? She didn't lose. You lost. Shannon Sharpe, are you going to lose or is this woman going to lose? Deshaun Watson, how much money did you pay professional massage women? You're Deshaun Watson. You're one of the richest athletes in the NFL, and you're showing up wearing a washcloth to a massage, allegedly. Are you out of your mind? It cost you your NFL career. And I don't understand it. They continue to make the same mistake after the same mistake after the same mistake. Shannon Sharpe, I don't know if he did everything that he's being accused of.
Right.
Is Tony Buzbee out there chasing an ambulance? I think he's an elite attorney.
Yeah.
And elite attorneys don't chase ambulances. They chase paydays. And Shannon Sharpe to this woman is a payday. That's who Shannon Sharpe is now. How's that $100 million podcast deal going that you were negotiating while all this was going on? You're never unwinding this watch. You're now that tape is out there, dude, where you talked about I'm going to choke you next time I see you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And you don't have a say in the matter.
And it's not her words that we have to wonder about because it's your voice and you're not denying, you're not claiming this is fake.
You're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke out of you when I see you.
That's allegedly Shannon Sharpe in his own words. That's awfully tough to run away from, man. And again, I don't even, and I want to play his statement again. I think it's that important that he is heard in his own voice. I don't even disagree with him that this is you want to call it extortion? The problem is, Shannon, she's an OnlyFans performer. Sex is her business. Sex is her business. And she is, in my opinion, performing her business at your expense.
This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Buzbee want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
I don't even disagree. It's a shakedown.
Dude, you want to call it shakedown? That's fine. You made your bed here, dude. You opened the door. You got involved with people who do this for a living. You like, and that's
Right?
That's the part that I just really struggle with Shannon here, bro. Like who did you think you were dealing with? I mean, do you understand that as an OnlyFans creator, they call them, you're in a place where you have decided, hey, I'm going to sell my body to make money. That's what you're doing. You're creating content on the OnlyFans platform for people to, obviously pay for. And so this story of, hey, I was at the gym, met this girl. Turns out she's a, OnlyFans creator. Okay, cool, bro. But the idea that in your statement there, you're like, hey, let's release the whole video. The whole video is actually 10 minutes, and I would release it, but I can't because I don't have it. So now I got to ask the question, well, gee, Shannon, why don't you have the tape? Oh, that's right, because it wasn't your content, right? It was her content that you were making for her account. That's the problem here. And so now what's happened is one thing's led to another. And this went from, hey, I met you at the gym and let's have some fun and let's make some new videos and, let's post some videos and get some views and get some money. And, you're doing me a favor, to we got from there to this place now where she's civilly suing you or whatever through Tony Buzbee to try to get money out of you. So again, I don't think that, and maybe this is me being naive. I'm not 100 millionaire. I didn't play in the NFL. I'm not 6'8" or 6'6" or however, tall Shannon is and ripped out of my mind, right? Like, I'm not that guy. So maybe I can't share his perspective, but I guess I just don't find it that hard to understand that all you have to do is get the hell out of the way in life and just don't, work with OnlyFans creators. Don't, and the other thing I have to say too, is this isn't Shannon's first time in terms of video, right? Or him being allegedly caught on audio or video recordings, getting it on, right? I mean, we've heard Shannon in many different cases being on, videos and making noises, and this isn't the first time. So the problem is, for me personally, my opinion is that, the concept of, hey, I met you at the gym, we linked up, we then made a video together. I don't really put that past Shannon, dude. Honestly, like, that kind of sounds like the Shannon Sharpe that we all know. A talking head guy who went from Fox and then now is at ESPN and doing this podcast thing. And like, that's kind of what Shannon sounds like. That's a pretty, I feel like, fair portrayal. I just don't think we have any idea just how far the rabbit hole goes here. We have no idea just how egregious this is. It's easy to say things on the front end and then not be able to back them up on the back end. It's easy to say you fear for your life and have no evidence of that.
But listen, I just want to understand it. And I hope, and I don't know Shannon Sharpe. I have no idea what his personality is like. Is there any part of Shannon Sharpe that says, man, I messed this up badly? Holy cow, I made a mistake. Is there any part of Shannon Sharpe, his brother, who's a professional football player, one of the, I believe now a Hall of Famer? Is there any part of Shannon Sharpe or somebody in his sphere that will say to Shannon Sharpe, dude, you got to be better than this. You've got to pick people to women who are on your level or above, right? Because I don't see, if you're in, and again, I want to look up how old Shannon Sharpe is. I don't want to speak out of tune, but I think that Shannon Sharpe dating a 20-year-old allegedly at the time that this relationship, he's 56 years old.
Come on, guy.
So he was 54 years old when this started. You picked up a 20-year-old allegedly at a gym when you're 54? And now your $100 million that you got in a podcast deal is at risk? Come on, man. You got to be better than that. And again, excuse my cough.
Yeah.
You got to be better than that. You have to tell your kids about this story. You have to talk to your young men and women. When you are choosing a partner, you've got to do better than this. You cannot videotape yourself. You cannot audio record yourself. You cannot send nude pictures of yourself. You cannot put yourself in a situation where you're leaving it up to chance if you're accused of sexual assault or not. Because again, I'm going to take Shannon Sharpe at his word. This is extortion. Okay, let's say that's absolutely true. All the worst things you want to say about Tony Buzbee, ambulance chaser, this is a payday. Okay, cool. It's still your fault, Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah.
You picked an OnlyFans performer up at the gym allegedly when she was 20 and you were 54.
Gotta have an ambulance to chase if you're an ambulance chaser.
I just feel like we don't have as men, and I do think this is a uniquely male story. As men, we don't get the benefit of the doubt in sexual assault allegations.
Well, and I just don't think we consider the consequences of anything. I mean, I mean, think about how easy it would be if you're Shannon to go to the gym as jacked as you are, lift a bunch of weights, do your thing, and then who the hell knows how this went down? Who knows who approached who and how? Like,
But are you going to LA
but, like,
Fitness if you're Shannon Sharpe?
I don't know. He's going somewhere. Which
Well, it's not LA Fitness, Monty. It's 24-hour fitness,
right? Like it's he's going to Lifetime, I guess. I don't know, bro.
Come on,
but like,
be better.
But like you see what I'm getting at here. So let's suppose that he went to an elite gym, an elitist gym, as I call them. You know, the gym that's
Equinox,
you know, Lifetime, you know, the gym that's hundreds of dollars a month, you know, and has all these amenities and has the juice bar and has the massage tables and everybody and their mom can go there if they're happy to pay rent to be there, right? Like that kind of gym. Okay, if he's there, let's say, and she's there, she's clearly not struggling. So again, I want dudes, and this is where I probably go wrong, right? I can't say I expect Shannon to do better, but I want Shannon to do better. I want these guys to say to themselves, yeah, you know what? Like, man, I really hit it off with her, but bro, like I'm at the gym and she, you know, like I don't know, some like I don't know what she does. Don't want to judge her, but maybe this isn't the right thing. Maybe I need to think about like maybe I should just go home and drink my protein shake.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I don't know if Shannon's a golfer or you know, maybe I should go home and do another episode or something. I don't know, bro. But like, do you have nothing better that you can do than to mess it up like this? Because I can respect, by the way, I do want to say this. I can respect the concept that dudes got needs, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Right? People have needs. I'm cool with that. You lose me when those needs turn into I'm going to irresponsibly pick up an OnlyFans creator who's half my age. And then I'm gonna, you know, take it to a point where I'm getting sued. Like Shannon, bro, like
what are you thinking?
How, bro? Like, and it does harken back to Brett Favre. It does remind me of Tiger and you know Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer
like,
is the one, and Tiger's very interesting as well because think about the legacies of those men now.
Yeah,
and this isn't just. I think Shannon Sharpe wants to point Tony Buzbee at black men because Tony Buzbee represents, I believe it's the accusers of Diddy. The people accusing Diddy of crimes. And Jay-Z got folded into that. And I'm telling you, this is not just black men because Shannon Sharpe says that Tony Buzbee targets black men. I got news for you. It's not black men. It's men of influence and power who use that influence and power to have sex with women who are far below par.
Yeah.
Monica Lewinsky, Trevor Bauer, all of the hookers, porn stars, and Perkins waitresses with Tiger Woods.
Bill Gates's assistant or whatever.
You name it. You name it. How many powerful men? Harvey Weinstein. How many powerful men? Kevin Spacey. It's always the rich guy going after the weaker woman or male, right? Like you look at Matt Lauer at NBC, ruined by his inappropriate sexual behavior. You look at Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer had what appears to be a consensual sexual relationship with a woman, and they consensually got physical, and she sued him. He won. She got laughed out of court, but he didn't win. He lost tens of millions of dollars and glory and Major League Baseball service time.
That's right. You were relegated to Mexico and the KBO to do YouTube content.
I just want us as fathers, because I understand that in this world, we don't often have difficult conversations with our kids. But this is mine sitting right next to me. And I can tell you, we talked about this stuff when he was a teenager coming up.
Mhm.
I think it's important that we tell our kids, hey, Jimmy, did you see this thing with Shannon Sharpe? And if you're a man and you made the decision, and I don't want to hear about being trapped, and I don't want to hear about the condom broke. You made a decision to have a child. Part of that decision making was that you were going to raise that child and put them in the best position possible. That includes tough conversations. Because when Trevor Bauer happens and Bill Clinton happens and Harvey Weinstein happens and Shannon Sharpe happens and Tiger Woods happens, you've got to say, hey, Jimmy, we got to talk about this. Shannon Sharpe, he's, did you see he just signed that $100 million podcast deal? Well, now he's being accused by a young 20-something girl of sexual assault, and it includes a sex tape, and the allegations are asking for $50 million, and his career is probably ruined. Hey, Jimmy, what does that mean to you? What do you take away from that? Do you know how impactful that conversation is when Jimmy's at a college party and maybe the girl at the college party that he has a crush on is drunk? And maybe they're alone in a bedroom and Jimmy's got a decision to make. That's where I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
Right? Because we as men make so many decisions that put ourselves in these really difficult spots. And now we're talking about a guy in Shannon Sharpe whose talent didn't end on the football field. He is a very talented creator who's now more focused on a lawsuit that he says is a witch hunt or extortion or whatever the word you want to use, a cash grab, whatever you want to use. And the problem is Tony Buzbee is a dog on a raw piece of meat. Ask Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what you guys think. I'm curious where you guys come down on this. I take this really seriously. I think it is a very, very, very important moment in time. And yes, Jay McClanahan, how can you be that well off and stupid at the same time? This was horrible decision-making, in my opinion, by Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, I think, in the way I kind of look at it is I think we've graduated from bad decision-making. I think it's just negligence. I think that Shannon never considered any of it. I think that dudes at his level, and again, we see this, it's pervasive. When you have money, you have stardom, you played in the NFL, and again, I know I keep bringing it up, but the guy is in ridiculous shape. I mean, for his age.
Look at O.J. Simpson. Holy crap. Look at O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson's another great example, right? I mean, so my point just is like this guy is a physical freak on the football field. He clearly, has an appetite for this type of material.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's strong to say that he goes to the gym looking for it, but I can honestly say, yeah, do I take a peek here and there at the gym? Of course, everybody does. It's part of being at the gym. But I can honestly say I have never once in my life considered walking up to someone in the gym. That's not me. I'm not that guy. And again, that's why I say maybe the grain of salt or the caveat is I can't share his perspective, but I can for damn sure tell you that I am not going to fraternize or get involved with or do anything with someone who's making that type of material.
And listen, if I don't care how much money's in my bank account, if a woman says, I want you to put a dog collar on me and choke me while we have sex, I'm not doing it.
No, hell no.
I'm not doing it.
And so my point is, the reason I say it's not bad decision-making, it's just literally pure negligence, is because I don't have $100 million in my bank account. I don't have $1 million in my bank account. So maybe Shannon's biggest issue, and maybe dudes with this kind of money, their biggest issue, is that they have so much money that the decision-making portion of their day no longer exists. Hey, all right, I'm just going to the gym. All right, I'll be back. Be back in 2 hours. All right, cool. Hey, bro, I met this girl and we're doing this and that. All right, cool, no problem. Like, That's legit what I think happens to these guys. And then they're surprised when bad stuff happens. Like, you got to be better.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's really unfortunate that Shannon Sharpe finds himself here, but it's all self-inflicted. Where do you come down on this? Let's talk about it from a father's perspective. Do you guys talk to your kids about this? Sons and daughters? Because if you have a daughter and you're not talking about this, I think you're crazy. Never, ever. We've got to send the message that this can be stopped, but it's going to take a lot of effort. Women, I don't even know how to say this tactfully. The messages that this girl allegedly sent to Shannon Sharpe over text, I don't blush easily. They made me blush. Like,
What does that mean?
do you want your you want your daughter saying those things to a man on text? A man that's 54 while she's 20, allegedly? Dude, you got to talk to your daughters. I can't. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Less of us, more of you. Johnny Gonzalez, he said dog collar on me. I thought Monty was going to say bro, welcome to the nightmare. How do you not have the sense to realize the risk you're doing and what it could cost you when you make those kinds of decisions? Right? How do you not, does that not factor into your mind?
And let's say, okay, hey, you didn't think about it at the gym. Okay. Let's play this out just from a life experience standpoint. We're talking about dads talking to their kids. Okay, cool. So let's just suppose, all right, cool. Yeah, we agree. We hit it off. I'll be at your place or you'll be at my place, whatever. They agree to meet, whatever happens, happens. Okay. At some point, we can be for sure that these conversations took a left turn real quick at some point. And again, to this comment, I'm just going to keep saying, you can keep trying to force things and keep trying to do something that is dumb and stupid and that you shouldn't be doing. And at a certain point, you got to be able to read the room, bro. At a certain point, you got to be able to say, like, I'm me and this is her. This probably isn't going to end well for me as much as I love doing stuff like this, apparently, allegedly. Like,
dude, what are you, if you are a man of influence, black or white, and because I don't agree that Tony Buzbee targets black men. I think that is way over the top. But if you're Shannon Sharpe and your phone rings and it's Tony Buzbee, what is your first reaction?
dude,
This is a code 10 abort.
I don't even.
If it's me you want to talk to, perhaps we can arrange a meet.
I mean, this is the same guy that is prosecuted the right word? Clearly not, but who brought down Deshaun Watson. This is the same guy that represented families in litigation against BP for the Deepwater Horizon spill. I read all about that today. I mean, this is a guy that got, what was it, $750 million against Travis Scott on behalf of 120 victims who died during the Astroworld Festival, that crowd crush thing. That was Tony Buzbee. I mean, it is.
This is a dude. I agree with what you said earlier. You said it perfectly. This is a dude that looks for opportunities to make money by identifying situations that involve, men 9 times out of 10 who have a lot of influence, and because of that influence have a lot of money and have something to lose. So
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton.
So what Shannon should have said,
he represented by Tony Buzbee.
What a better description would have been, because I agree with you, Tony doesn't have a track record of just going after black men. I agree, way over the top. Are the athletes of recent, have they been black men? Yes, they have. But that's just how it's worked out. Like, this guy's got a track record of saying, okay, victim, alleged victim, plus entity or person with money, let me get in the middle of that thing and leverage the hell out of them until they quit. That's his formula.
Hard to argue with that.
So no, it's no surprise that Shannon, in his statement, said release the whole tape. Why would he do that? Why would anyone do that? Why would Tony advise his client, Jane Doe, to release the whole tape? That potentially, I don't know, I haven't seen the tape, but potentially would remove the leverage from the situation from their side. So he's not going to do that. So the point just is, Shannon, once again, here we are, back to the top, yellow brick road, back to you made a dumbass decision in the gym that day that's now potentially going to cost you, $50 million. And all I have to say is, my God, what would I do, or what mistakes would I make if I had $50 million?
And I want to read a quote from Tony Buzbee's Instagram post on this lawsuit. He said, "This is not the first time Mr. Sharpe has faced allegations of mistreating a woman. He was also sued in New York for alleged aggressive and inappropriate behavior, detailed extensively in that lawsuit." Here's the cash. Instead of owning up to his actions, Sharpe has chosen to mislead his lawyers, the public, and double down, this time by doxing Jane Doe and attempting to humiliate into silence this woman who is 30 years his junior. Ouch. I don't even know what you
see what I mean? You see how that's written? Like, and again, I'm not some Tony Buzbee advocate, right? I'm just merely pointing out who Shannon's dealing with here. You're not dealing with some schmuck. Dude, you're dealing with the shark of sharks. You're dealing with the dude who says, yep, I'm putting on my 18-piece suit today, driving the Aventador up to the office, and I'm taking this dude to the woodshed. That's what that is, man. This guy has zero fear of you, bro. So, yes, Shannon, in my opinion, your ass is not getting off of this for probably anything less than, I don't know, if they're asking 50. I mean, you're probably on the hook for at least half of that, I would guess.
Did I mention that he's going after Andrew Tate as well?
Right? Like
3 days ago on Tony Buzbee's Instagram. Late yesterday, we obtained a restraining order against Andrew Tate in LA County or in LA Los Angeles State Court. That order from the judge prohibits Tate from any further attempt to have any contact whatsoever with my client. I'm not going to say her name. As expected, Tate's internet army of misguided minions, to include his U.S. lawyer, attacked and ridiculed her for having the courage to take steps to protect herself. Tony Buzbee does it. This is you pay the money.
Yeah, just cough it up, dude.
Pay the money, because you made the mistake. You wrote this check that you're going to pay in this case, because you're going to pay it, in my opinion. You wrote this check several years ago when you met her at that gym. The moment you met her at that gym, then the moment you figured out she was on OnlyFans, and then the moment you decided that you wanted to have a physical relationship with her, you decided that you were willing to write a check.
Which I also think is another huge problem for these guys.
Ugh.
They've never feared having to write a check until now.
Nope. No, they have not. Let's see. Yeah. Blackman got picked up in Stillwater. That's one of the craziest stories. Yeah. Great receiver. Another guy. Like, we've got to do better by people.
Yeah.
We've got to do better by people. That's to me, that is that's a big deal. Jay McClanahan, he should have called Big Daddy Magic for entertainment versus a road he went on. You ain't even kidding. My question, he said 10-minute video. I'm not the one that usually watches porn, but OnlyFans usually lasts around that ball range. Oh, our OnlyFans video is 10 minutes. I have no idea. I've never used OnlyFans.
Yeah. Brandon
Butler, the problem is everyone thinks they're exception to the cause and the effect. We all dine at the banquet of our own consequences. My God.
Yeah. And I think
isn't that the truth?
I think that, and I don't mean to be repetitive, but it just reeks of it in this case of just like ignorance and
entitlement
and like just total lack of awareness and like and this is something we've always talked about on the show of like, hey, in our country, we like to shame the rich. But
Yes.
but I have to say, this dude's done a damn good job of bringing this on
Yeah,
himself.
he shamed his own riches.
Yeah,
Didn't he get into a fight with Ja Morant's dad?
Yeah, coincide at the Laker game. Like the problem is, and I think it's a great point about Tony, is, dude, what Tony's going to do is he's just going to bring up all the bad stuff you've ever done.
Yep.
And it's going to be of different severity, right? It's going to be, hey, well, you're the same guy who looked like an idiot at the Laker game trying to punch, Ja Morant's dad.
But it's the same story over and over again. I'm not guilty. I'm going to fight this. She extorted me. This is all lies. Where do I send the check? Right? There's one guy who's gotten away from it. Trevor Bauer. One guy. That's it. And my point is, when we look at guys like Deshaun Watson, Shannon Sharpe, Harvey Weinstein, you're not getting away from this. Shannon, write the check, dude. Write the check. And I agree. I agree with some of the sentiment that's out there. So part of the agreement, this $10 million settlement that was supposedly done, Shannon wanted a confidentiality agreement. Allegedly, the woman signed it. And then whatever happened. And now Shannon Sharpe has released this woman's name. And I don't necessarily have it. Listen, if you're going to accuse somebody of sexual assault like this, you should not be allowed to be anonymous. I totally agree with that. And I look at this situation, and now Shannon Sharpe not only didn't follow the terms of an alleged confidentiality agreement, but then he put her name out there. Like, dude, you're just putting another zero at the end of the check.
Dig in the hole.
You're just putting another zero there. And the problem is, and I'm sure Shannon Sharpe knows this, every day that goes on, they just throw another piece of meat to the dogs. Yeah, here's that audio clip. Yeah, here's part of that sex tape. Yep, here's another affidavit. Yep, here's some more text messages.
How much of an a-hole you looked like 4 years ago? We're just gonna throw that in too, just because like it all just kind of.
Hey,
works.
Remember that thing in New York? Yeah, here's like Tony Buzbee is an expert at this. You're trying to do surgery, and you're arguing with a doctor on how to do the surgery. Tony Busbee's already. He's already this. You're just going to put another zero behind it, man. All right. Couple more. Redwine, do we have a tape of this? What does she look like? What does it matter what she looks like?
Yeah. Why do we care about that?
What does her look have to do with anything? Will that affect his Hall of Fame? No, Shannon Sharpe's in the Hall of Fame. So
yeah, this isn't a football conversation, bro.
Yeah, I don't think so. Fat Jesus. Don't send nudes. Did you hear that, Big Daddy Magic?
Big Daddy Magic.
Don't send nudes.
This is your beloved.
Johnny Gonzalez, you cannot do all this and not collect. Well, yeah. I think it's really.
That's the most astonishing part, honestly. For me, personally, just as a dude, I'm sitting here, we're talking about this, and I'm like, bro, so let me get this right. Like, you met her at the gym, allegedly. Then you guys clearly have texted a bunch, talked a bunch.
You put yourself in the Buzbee zone.
Yeah, like you, right? Like what is, like, come on, dude. Like, this is the Buzbee saw, bro. Like, you're getting, you put yourself right in the middle of this thing. And I just struggle just as a dude, because I agree. We had those conversations when I was younger, but even if you didn't have those conversations, is there no inherent instinct? Is there no like, hey, huge red panic button here going off in the back of my head that, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do what we talked about in those like, what? Like, really? There's no consideration? Yeah. And then you're going to sit here in your statement and say that your family and, your loved ones know what this is about and know what it really is. Like, I don't know, man. I just can't believe that there was no thought to it.
Lopes fan Gabe, rich dudes really out here making it so easy for slimy lawyers like Tony Buzbee.
That's what they do.
And listen.
See, another side of the conversation.
I don't think Tony Buzbee is a slimy guy. Is he slimy for going after Deshaun Watson? Is he slimy for going after Shannon Sharpe? No, I don't think so. Deshaun Watson and Shannon Sharpe put themselves in the crosshairs when you conduct yourself and you act the way that these two men have allegedly acted.
Yeah.
And the things that Deshaun Watson allegedly did to those masseuses, and the things that Shannon Sharpe is being accused of allegedly doing to this woman, the things that Trevor Bauer allegedly did to that San Diego Padre fan. You got to bear the weight of this. Is Tony Buzbee a slimeball? I don't know. Does Shannon Sharpe, does Deshaun Watson, Tiger Woods, O.J. Simpson, Harvey Weinstein, JFK? I mean, we could just keep going back through time. How many rich, powerful dudes, Matt Lauer, have fallen at the feet of sex? Matt Lauer had allegedly a button under his desk to control his door. Like, you're Matt Lauer. You're the host of the Today Show. What are you doing with a button under your desk, man? Allegedly.
Prominent politicians.
How many of them? Bill Clinton with an intern? You're just bored at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not it's not about your wife anymore. Tiger Woods had a beautiful woman that he was married to, but he allegedly was banging a Perkins waitress by a dumpster in the back of an SUV. Allegedly.
You gotta get stroked.
You think that's about his wife? That's not about his wife. Do you think he's with porn stars? Because
that's about Tiger.
You think presidents of the United States having sex with a porn star? Do you think that's bro, that's not, you just are bored. You're looking to fill a gap, literally and figuratively. But it's crazy to me. You're giving away, you're just writing checks.
Yeah.
How expensive is that sex you had with that woman? Do you know, have you ever had a massage that cost you your entire NFL career? That's wild to me.
And then got another contract after that, which is even worse.
And then took the boot off on vacation. Never mind. I don't understand. The stadium guy, James, if someone is willing to give it up that easily, there's a catch. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Well, you ought to know. You're writing the book.
But again, I don't know. We don't know. Maybe they had wonderful lovemaking to start their relationship. Where did it go wrong? This woman alleges that it became controlling, and she was terrified at one point. Where did it go wrong? I don't know. It just, Big Papa War Machine. We don't trust women in this house, or men, or dogs that weigh more than 50 pounds. I think sadly, with where we are in this society, I don't know who you can trust. I'm glad I'm not single. I've been married for going on 30 years, and I'm thrilled about it. I am thrilled about it.
That downstairs kitty cat is not yours to have, okay?
I'm saying. Prize Picks Major League Baseball coming up in 5 minutes. Johnny Gonzalez. What could a female do or commit that we here on the Monty Show would treat her like James Joseph Harbaugh? Dude. I don't even know. Eric Wasikowski. Did you see that Javi Baez is playing center field for your Detroit Tigers? And looks pretty good doing it. How could you say no to Monroe if you're JFK, dude? I get it.
Stop.
But I understand this sentiment. How did the mafia get involved? Oh, because she was with mafia members too, allegedly. You're the president. If you are the president of the United States, and this is going to, this is going to sound outlandish. So just put your hands at 10 and 2. If you're the president of the United States, probably don't want to be having sex unless it's with your spouse.
What? Bro, why do you say such outlandish things?
I know.
I mean, just wow.
I know.
Wow.
If you're gonna have your cigar smoked in the Oval Office,
Might not want to have a button under the desk.
her name had better be Hillary and not Monica.
Damn.
Right? Like if you're Harvey Weinstein, and think about how long he got away with that. Think about how long, depending on who you believe, before Nicole was almost decapitated on her front porch. How long was the cycle of abuse between Nicole and O.J. Simpson? Because they're rich and they're powerful and they're influential and they can get away with that.
Yeah.
That's part of what makes it horrendous.
Yeah.
It is, you are preying on people. But for the record, Mrs. Monty is a class act. She's a diamond in the rough and a real lady. What the hell does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, what is that? I don't understand.
Why are you talking about my wife? Waking up to Hillary is probably waking up to the horse's head. Again, I don't care. If your wife is not attracted for you, to you anymore, we have processes in this country that can make her not your wife.
And with all due respect,
that don't include bullets or sharp edges.
Or OnlyFans.
You can go to court and get divorced. I am not somebody who believes that men are perfect and women are perfect, or men are terrible and women are perfect. Relationships, marriage is really hard. It's very difficult. And a lot of times when women or men cheat on their spouse, it's not about I'm out of love with you, but you're married. You have a moral obligation, and you have another person who believes you're not going to do that. Right? Shannon Sharpe's not married. Nobody's alleging infidelity here.
No, we're alleging stupidity.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's just me. Rock and roll. Rock and rant. Hello. Holy hell. What did I just step into live without context? Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, dude. Go back to the beginning of the Shannon Sharpe conversation. It's I would say it's one of the realest ones we've had in a while. Big Daddy Magic. My stepdaughter is the reason I own a gun. I promise you on everything holy, nobody will disrespect her. Oh, come on. Come on, bro. Rock and rant. Shannon Sharpe said some really bad things and the conversation was recorded. Oh, if that was the only thing that Shannon Sharpe had done, right? Again, we are not here sitting in guilty or innocent judgment. I don't know if Shannon Sharpe is guilty. I don't know if Shannon Sharpe is innocent. What I do know is that money will be transferred. 54-year-old Shannon Sharpe picked up a 20-year-old girl at a gym. She was an OnlyFans performer. She alleges sexual abuse. Tony Buzbee's representing her. You're going to pay. Cut a check.
And it sucks.
Because there's no way. See, and again, I'm going to wrap this up by saying this. There's no winning here for Shannon Sharpe. It's only controlling the loss. The only win is moving on from it as fast as humanly possible. And I hate it because it's like this deal where it's like, hey, we gotta control the loss, damage control, control the spin, control the narrative, like do everything you can to save as much face as possible, but you're not getting away from what happened here. The extent of what happened, is that this woman dramatizing things when she says she feared for her life or she was terrified? I have no idea, dude. Yeah. I honestly have no idea. But what we know is that you met her at a gym, you picked her up, you guys did your thing, and now we're here. Yeah. So something went sideways, and you're just generally speaking, and this is I think the last major point. That's why as a dude, you can't be doing this stuff. Because no matter what happens, nobody 10 years from now is going to come back and look at all these heinous text messages and, unearth this whole case, if we want to call it that. All they're going to say is, oh, Shannon Sharpe, podcaster guy who picked a girl up at the gym and had to pay his way out. That's what they're gonna say. And you know what? Look at this comment right here. How many other women will come forward now? Because they're out there. I bet you they're out there looking. I bet you they're out there looking. All right. I appreciate the serious conversation. We don't often do that. We do not often get into the serious side of the news cycle, thankfully.
Yeah.
On this show. Let's get into the serious side of Prize Picks. Oh man, I thought I had it with Asher Thompson last night. Once he picked up that 5th foul, I was like, done. I needed, and again, excuse me for my cough. I am battling a little bit here. I needed Asher Thompson for 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He got me 10, but largely because he was in foul trouble almost the entire night. And it really crippled his ability in what was a scintillating Pistons win, by the way. Thompson only played 21 minutes and was a +3. But what a performance by Cade Cunningham. And I've been espousing the greatness of the Caterade for a good part of the season on this show. 33 points, 12 rebounds, 3 dimes, 2 steals, a +5 against the Knicks as the Pistons level that series at 100-94, heading back to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Now life is going to be very difficult for the Knicks here because they got physically beat. They did not get the whistle. And the thing that stands out to me in that Knick game is you lost and Jalen Brunson had 37, 7 dimes, and 3 boards.
Yeah.
You lost and all 5 starters were in double figures. You lost because you only got 8 points off the bench. That's why you lost. And you lost because you got out physicaled. They shot, and this is the number that should be absolutely terrifying if you are a New York Knicks fan. The Pistons at the Garden were 28 of 34 from the free throw line. You were 16 of 19. Oh, they almost shot double the free throws you did. They shot 34. You shot 19 at home.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a real problem. And the other issue is you committed 24 personal fouls. They shot 19 free throws off of those. The Knicks committed 22 and the Pistons shot 34.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. That is what we call a bad night at the office for the New York Knicks. And remember, I told you this because I understand a lot of people don't agree with me. The Knicks lose this series, Tibbs is out of a job.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if the Knicks don't win the Eastern Conference, there's a chance Tibbs is out of a job.
Got to do something at some point.
Because you should be better. When you're starting Bridges, Anunoby, Towns, Brunson, and Hart, none of them are your own product. You went out and built that roster, and you're playing 20 minutes of Mitchell Robinson, and he's only giving you 7 rebounds and no points? And you're telling me you're playing Miles McBride 13 minutes, and he gives you 8 points, and Cameron Payne only plays 4 minutes? And you're telling me that Precious doesn't play? This Knicks team should be cruising past Detroit. But because Detroit's starting 5 is getting production from guys like Jalen Duran, I think Jalen Duran matters.
Mm-hmm.
-8 last night, 6 of 6 from the stripe. I'm telling you right now, Detroit is in big jeopardy of winning this series. And if you are the Knicks, you should be worried.
And I think, Cade Cunningham, give the guy credit, man. I mean,
all the credit in the world.
Bug, had to grind, and now has come back in the playoffs. And quite frankly, watching that game last night, dominated them during certain stretches. I mean, just get out of my way. I'm going to dunk, unstoppable at certain points.
I'm really and I think the Pistons Knicks tonight, it's Lakers and T-Wolves.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that Ant got fined 50 gur again for talking about his phallic symbol? His how big his
Macaque.
is? Yeah. They fined him $50,000. And How far away from Shannon Sharpe is Anthony Edwards?
Not far.
With all the baby mama stuff, with all of the fines and the...
Yeah, he's already been paying.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, dude's already been paying.
And then you start looking at... I think this is a massive night for Luka Doncic and the Lakers. I didn't say LeBron James. I said Luka Doncic. I think if Luka Doncic tonight does not have a massive performance, I think they're going to lose. And I think that when you look at some of Luka's numbers, 47.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Mm-hmm.
Who's opting into that? I'm not. Is there anybody who believes he's going to put up 47.5 points, rebounds, and assists?
I mean, I don't love it. No, I don't. That's why I took LeBron, because I'm not. I think we need to see Luka perform. And I think, we're already getting the push notifications and the updates that Bron is in the building earlier than normal.
Because he's ready to go.
Yeah. And so I'm, for Prize Picks tonight, I really need a win. I've been on a cold streak as well. And so for the Laker game, I'm taking LeBron on a demon, 29.5.
Wow.
I think he's going to have a big night. And I also took Austin Reeves on a goblin as kind of my insurance pick to have more than 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So I think it's going to be a great game. I think that the Lakers are going to score a lot more than they did in game one.
They better.
And the other one that I think is really interesting is this Bucks Pacers series, because these are two teams that I think are inconsequential when it comes to the NBA championship, but are providing us with drama.
I hate this. I hate this series so much.
Here's the pick that in my opinion, take it for what it's worth. Sometimes I'm hot, sometimes I'm cold.
Mm-hmm.
I think this pick's pretty reliable. Damian Lillard for 7.5 3-point attempts tonight. The reason I say that that's reliable is if you look at what happened in game one, him and Halliburton got into it. He talked a bunch of junk to Halliburton. He didn't play in game one, Dame didn't,
right,
because of injury. And so they kept him out. And all of a sudden, what happened? Oh, all of a sudden you lost and you talked a bunch of junk and you said that you were going to show him what it was like and you were going to beat his ass. And now Dame's in the lineup. You were going to
beat his ass.
Allegedly is what Dame said to Tyrese Halliburton. So
27 points, rebounds, and assists, more or less for Dame.
I would probably go less on that. I would take attempts.
Tyrese Halliburton, 34 points, rebounds, and assists, more or less.
That's probably safe. Yeah. He's a playmaker for them.
I'm going to go LeBron James, 9 field goals made.
Okay.
I'm going to go Austin Reeves, 3.5 free throws made. And I'm going to go Tyrese Halliburton, 34 points, rebounds, and assists. 20 to win 45 on Prize Picks tonight. Flex play. Real quick. Let's do Major League Baseball.
Okay.
Because Chaboy needs a win. I'm not even going to front. I have not been good on Prize Picks. I've never lost 5 in a row.
Was it the pneumonia?
Shut up. I've never lost. You're such a cruel person.
Don't talk crap about my team.
I will Buzbee you. I've never lost 5 in a row on Prize Picks. Yeah. I've lost 4 in a row again. So we're going to take the safe play and go all Chicago Cubs.
Okay, so Dustin May for more than 4.5 Ks.
I deserve that. I deserve that. Pitcher strikeouts.
Right.
This is a tough one. Nick Pivetta sucks, so can't do that against Detroit because I just don't think that he will.
Who do the Cubs have going tonight?
Your mom. Shota's going tonight. Shota Imanaga. 5 strikeouts. I'm going to take more on Shota. Then we are going to go hits, runs, and RBIs. Aaron Judge I've been trying to pick him. It's currently in the second, 2.5 hits. They'll let you pick it mid-game. I don't think I'm going to go. I'm going to stay away from it. As far as the Cubs go, I mean, Ian Happ he's been sticking a lot lately. Like that cat's been swinging it. Coming off of that grand slam the other day, like What do you think of May?
I like May a lot. I'm sitting here looking at his strikeout numbers.
Oh, they're prolific.
Yeah, I mean,
because you don't see the ball out of his hand.
I think 4 is really safe. I think the Demon at 5.5 is stressful, but definitely attainable, depending on,
Ian Happ's 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. What can I get it down to? Half a double. Will he have a double?
I mean, like you said, he's been hitting well.
She's gotten 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs in 3 of his last 5. He's only had 1 double in his last 5 games, so I don't love that. His hitter fantasy score, he's only hit 6.5 2 of his last 5 games. I want to take the Happer, but there's not a lot here.
Yeah, I don't love that.
I mean, I can do.
What about total bases? Half a total base?
I can do half a hit, run, and RBI on a Goblin, so it pays less. All right, let's do that. All he has to do is get a hit, run, or an RBI. And then because I'm a sadist, I really don't want to do this. Am I going against the Chicago Cubs with Dustin May? I think I am. I think it's Dustin May 4 strikeouts more. I think it's that or Jose Soriano against Pittsburgh 5. But
what about your Lord and Savior Kyle Tucker? He of calisthenics in the outfield.
Every time I pick Kyle Tucker, I lose. Shut up. You think you're so funny. It actually is true. All right. So Shota, 5 strikeouts more. Ian Happ, half of a hit, runner, RBI. All he has to do is get a hit, a runner, an RBI. I took more. And then Dustin May, 4 strikeouts, $20 to win 659 pennies.
Nice.
To win 40. So we'll go there. So that's my prize picks. You have baseball prize picks for me?
Yeah, I'm trying to pick my third one. I've got Dustin May for more than 4 strikeouts, Nico Horner to have 1 base tonight on a Goblin. And I'm trying to find one more that's going to pay a little bit because, if you're going to play, you got to play. So I'm looking at Teoscar Hernandez has a Demon for 1 single. Now, if he gets a double, I don't win on that.
How do you not take that?
Right? So that's where I'm like, all right, sure. Okay, cool. We'll go.
How do you not take that?
Ohtani for a home run. Don't love that because it's Chicago. That's tougher to do there. I'm gonna do Teoscar Hernandez. We'll do 20 to win 40 on a flex play. Dustin May for 4 Ks, Horner for 1 base, and Teoscar Hernandez for a single.
Okay. We're all in on Cubs Dodgers. I like it. I absolutely like it.
Tomorrow when I lose, don't say I didn't tell you so, okay?
Yeah. Big Daddy Magic, please no baseball talk is stupid. I love NBA coverage, even though Victor's not playing. If he was, he'd been dominating.
Well, dude, but I thought that he was, the best player in the league, and they were going to win a championship right out of the gate.
Yep. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty. You open a new Prize Picks account with the promo code Monty. You deposit $5. They're going to give you 50 more. You can play the entire baseball season on $55. You can play the entire rest of the NBA playoffs on $55. Join us right now. Open a new Prize Picks account. Monty is the promo code. You deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more instantly at Prize Picks, America's favorite daily fantasy app. Let me get a couple more comments in here. Stadium Guy James, BDM, chill out. Baseball's a lot of fun. I love going to Globe Life Field and seeing the Rangers play. Wrigley is on my bucket list. If I swear, James, you go to Wrigley Field and you start talking about building IPFs on top of the scoreboard.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
You don't want to do that.